Gospel of the 11th hour. And as we know, the time we spend here is just taking us through the steps that Jesus walked through on his last few days. And when we read the verses here where he talks about the time and asking us to watch and pray, most of us always assume, oh yeah, he's talking about either when I die, which is unexpected, or when he comes, which also is unexpected. يعني تملي احنا بنفكر انه المسيح لما بيقول اسهر وصل له انه المقصود بيها ان انا مش عارف امتى النهايه بتاعتي هتيجي فبالتالي لازم اسهر. I'll give you that, and I'm not a theologian, I'm not but let's take a different look at that. So النهارده المسيح is calling us to watch and pray, and he takes the example of a man who owned a business of some sort, and he decided to take off for a few days or maybe longer, and he asked his people, stay alert, I'm leaving. And I'm trying to imagine what kind of dialogue that took place between him and the people. We're like, so what do you mean? What do you expect us to do? Just do what you always do. Take care of my stuff. I need you. Be alert. And yet, in the same sense, as he is going through his last days, he's pleading with us. Stay with me. Stay with me. Stay alert. And it's not because he's weak and needs me around. No, he wants me to be alert, awake as the suffering is happening, so that I can also be engaged in his suffering. He is pleading for us. He is pleading with each one of us today. Stay with me. Stay with me. And the reason is there are so many things that can happen in our lives unexpectedly if we are not alert, such as I left this morning to work wearing a shirt and pants. And in the middle of the day, somebody said, it's snowing. I said, right. And I looked outside, and sure enough, I was not prepared for that. It took me off guard. Many of us go through life and things happen unexpectedly. Stuff happens. Corona is one of them. The virus took us off guard. We didn't realize that. Some lost their jobs. I might go through a time where I don't have a job. Stressful. It's pressure. And as Christ is pleading with us to be prepared, he's aware that there are so many things in life that happen that we are not aware and not expecting. And when that happens, the pressure reveals. The pressure reveals what's inside. It reveals my heart. It reveals my identity. Pressure reveals. Crisis reveals. And it's in that moment when I am exposed to what's inside of me, as broken, as incomplete, as miserable, as pathetic as it can be, this is the time that Jesus is saying, be ready. I'm here. I will walk through you. I just need you to see what's inside. And the first thing that I just feel we should learn today from his words is, when pressure comes, be prepared to be broken and be prepared to see his hand in that moment when your inside is revealed. Someone once said the church should be a hospital for the broken and not a museum for the perfect. We're not perfect. None of us is. I'm not. You're not. But yet, we tend to always try to portray to each other that we are, but we're not. Let's be honest. We're broken. We all are. And it's in that brokenness, in the unexpected events and circumstances of our lives, that we actually encounter Christ in his suffering. And when we identify with his suffering, that's when the light shines in our lives. His love for us is beyond any measures. And his compassion for us surpasses any expectations that we might have from ourselves. We all saw and are witnessing the agony of the people of Ukraine. And they weren't ready. They weren't ready for all that's happening. Many of them are Christians. Many of them are actually Orthodox. And yet, they're still there, they're still fighting, they're still persevering. And all we can do is learn from people around us. Be prepared for the unexpected. This week I was at work and I was asking some of my coworkers if they were celebrating Easter, which was this Sunday. And they all looked at me and one of them laughed. And I said, what? She said, I'm a CEO. I'm like, what's that mean? And the two of them looked at each other. We are Christmas and Easter only Christians. I was like, okay. And when I heard that, it hit me. I'm like, what do you mean by that? This is it. This is all we can do. This is all that. And I thought about my life, and I thought about how are we doing? Are we CEOs? Is that how we perceive our relationship with Christ? As a young child, I was brought up like many of us, going to church on Sunday. I did the right things, and then at some point, I got hit by life. And I started asking myself, why am I even here? What does that mean to me? And I remember I was maybe 14 or something like that. And it hit me so hard that I said to God, you're either real, and if you are, then I really need to know that. And I need to know it firsthand. And I remember spending like almost my entire summer of 10th, 8th grade or so, just digging in the Bible, praying, crying. I was like, God, if you are there, I really need to know that. And ever since, I felt like something changed. Something radical happened. Are you a CEO? Is that how you define your relationship with Christ? If it is, the time is now to make a change. Secondly, when Christ is pleading with us to watch, it's not just like, we all are very, very well aware of what it means to stay up late to study. We've all been there. Moms, you've been up all night watching your babies cry, praying they would fall asleep. And in the same manner, if Christ is asking you and me to watch, it's not just to sit there, but to be diligent, to pursue him, to ask questions, to go after him, to seek, to dig, and not leave a stone unturned before you feel like, I got it. I got it. Our church, and I mean not just this church, but our community is so full of richness beyond any measures. Beyond measures, written, spoken, praises. But here's the problem. We just kind of come on